When did playing youth sports become so expensive? My son played travel baseball, one of my daughters played club volleyball, the other played club soccer. Whether your kids are in baseball, volleyball, soccer, lacrosse, or any other sport, you know how expensive this can be. Now, I also happen to have a baseball training facility that I've run for many, many years and have just recently started a travel baseball organization. So I can see this from a lot of different vantage points, certainly as a parent, also as a business owner. Let's talk about the costs that are involved in travel sports. What's the value in travel sports? And is this an investment in our kids' future, or is this a cost of being a parent? First, how much does it cost to play youth sports? I'm going to talk about this from the baseball side of the house because that's what I know best, but it's pretty similar in soccer and in volleyball as well. But it generally costs about $5,000 to $10,000 per year, per kid, per sport. You're going to pay about $3,000 to $5,000 to the travel organization. And for baseball, the reason that gap is so wide, $3,000 to $5,000, is because at the younger ages, the tournaments are less expensive. Now, as the kids get older, tournaments get a lot more expensive. In fact, the tournament that's coming to Emerson, Georgia, I live in Ackworth, which is right down the street from Emerson, the World Wood Bat, it's a perfect game tournament. The entry fee is $3,500 per team. Now, they'll have over 400 teams at this tournament for a week-long baseball tournament, $3,500. Now, my younger teams, my 12U teams, their tournaments aren't that expensive. So the cost to play at the younger ages, a little bit closer to that $3,000 number. As the kids get older, the facility, the organization is going to get more money because the tournaments cost more. The second thing we have to account for is the travel expense. So besides just the tournament itself, we've got to get to these tournaments. Now, like I said, I live very close to Emerson, which is Lake Point. So PBR, a big national tournament brand, is right here in town. The other big tournament, Perfect Game, they're in East Cobb, which is also about 20 minutes from my house. So I don't ever have to travel. So we haven't had to pay for expensive flights or hotels when we play baseball here in town. But with 450 teams coming from across the country, I know other parents will. So you're going to have to account for hotel, accommodations, travel, so on and so forth. And obviously not just for your player, but for mom and dad and any siblings who plan on attending the tournaments. On top of this, you also have gate fees. Once you get to the tournaments, parents have to pay a minimum of $5. Now, some of the bigger tournaments, you're looking at $15 just to come watch your kid play in a tournament that you paid for. That's how it is. So again, based on these numbers, we're going to probably spend another $1,500 a year just in gate fees. Along with the fees to play at an organization, the travel expenses, you also probably are paying for individual lessons. Now, in our market, about $100 an hour is pretty standard in terms of lessons. So whether the kid's taking hitting lessons, pitching lessons, fielding lessons, whatever he's working on, you're probably looking at about $100 an hour. So let's say the kid works out 20 weeks a year with his instructor, does a half-hour lesson a week, so we're looking at another $1,000. Another cost that we have to figure into this is the equipment cost. You've got bats, you've got gloves, you've got cleats, you've got the Evo shields, you've got the sunglasses, you've got any number of accessories that kids use in baseball. None of that stuff is cheap. Bats are easily $300 when we go to get a new bat. Gloves are pushing $350, $400. Now, you can buy less expensive gloves, of course, and less expensive bats, but on average, when kids come into my facility, they're toting thousands of dollars in their bat bag. They've got a couple bats hanging out, got a couple gloves in there, so that's probably $1,000, $1,500. All totaled, you're going to spend easily $5,000 upwards to $10,000 per kid, per sport, per year. So if the kid starts at 9, goes till he's 19, even if we take the low end and just say $5,000 a year times 9 years, you're looking at $45,000. Right? If we go at the high end and it's about 10, then we're at $90,000. So anywhere between $45,000 and $90,000 is what you can expect to pay for one kid to play one sport from the ages 9 to 18. So the main question is, how do we view this? How do we view this money that we're spending? Is it a cost? Is it just the cost of being a parent? Do we look at it like a vacation? So if we go to the beach, it's going to cost a couple $1,000 bucks. I'm not expecting any return in that for that money. Now, The enjoyment of being at the beach, yeah, okay, I find that worth it to go ahead and spend the money. I get to spend some time with my family, get to relax, get to enjoy the outside, go to the ocean, right? So it's not an investment. Some people look at it as an investment. They say, well, hey, if I spend this money today, if I spend $45,000 to $90,000 over the course of my kid's life, this is an investment. This is going to help pay for college. Well, let's talk about that real quick. Because in baseball, there are only 11.7 scholarships per team at the Division I level. It's not a lot. 11.7. A lot of these rosters are 25, 35 man rosters easily, okay? So let's just take 30. If we've got 30 kids on a team, 11.5 scholarships to divvy, or I'm sorry, 11.7 scholarships to divvy up amongst them, we're basically at about a third of a scholarship. So round numbers, say that school costs $21,000, I'm going to get $7,000 back if my kid is lucky enough and fortunate enough and good enough to get a piece of the pie when they get to school. So we're looking at $7,000. Kid stays in school for 4 years, we've just gotten $28,000. That's not even close to how much we've spent. If we just look at it as a cost, hey man, this is what it costs to have kids. Kids are expensive. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it be clothes, whether it be experiences they want to have, whether it's stuff that we buy kids. Kids are expensive. So I think taking the pressure off of parents and saying, hey, this is an investment, my kid's going to play college sports, he's going to get my money back. Rarely does that happen. So I'd like to know a couple things, if you don't mind commenting. Number one, let me know how much it costs to play travel sports in your area. And then secondly, how do you view it? Because I'm not the only voice in this conversation. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to see what your thoughts are, what you think about this. Is it too much? Is it absurd? Is it not enough? Are we getting a value for this money that we're spending in youth sports? Or is it just, hey, we just get on a treadmill and we keep doing what everybody else is doing and we're not really even looking, we're just writing checks and moving on down the road. So let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to pursue this conversation, continue it, and see if there's some insight, some help that we can offer each other. And one last thing, if you've stuck around this video this long, I just want to tell you, enjoy every minute with your kid when they're in youth sports, because you're not going to get it back. Every kid's career comes to an end. All the time you spend in the car with them, at the ball field, at the volleyball court, at the soccer field, it's going to come to an end one day, and you don't get it back. So I know finances sometimes cause a lot of stress in a family, but if we can overlook that and just step back and take a deep breath and realize, man, this is pretty awesome. I get to spend time with my kid. I'm watching them do something that they really enjoy. It's worth it. All right, so hope you guys are doing well, and look forward to seeing you in the next video.